There is only one small passage in the Bible about actually Lucifer, otherwise it's known as adversary. And you got from that one small passage where he dies that he was black. Show me the evidence, please. Yahweh really was. There's no excuse now. You can actually watch this free of charge at the end of this month on my Patreon page, patreon.com/OurTrueHistory, along with over 20 other videos. So all you have to do is go to my Patreon page at the 30th and the 1st of December, end of this month, and you will see these videos now in the free section. So just click on collections. Enki, which Greek and Roman god was he? You'll find out. Norse gods, part 1, creation, the best evidence. Don't forget, I do this with evidence. There's no messing around. How the pyramids were cut. That one actually gives you a suggestion that it's possibly water that cut the blocks for the pyramid. Make a contract with God. You may have heard about before you come here. It's not you, it's your orb that does that. You'll find that out. A new pyramid, not a tomb. This is where mainstream come out with their crap. And of course I debunk them. How our solar system formed, which mainstream's now, in fact, since this one was made, mainstream has now come out and agreed that it is to do with water in space. You watch that video, you'll see what I mean. Who's running the planet? This is the dollar bill video, where I literally show what the dollar bill means that no one else has ever worked out. Again, not being big-headed, it's just because this is what I do. Real Planet of the Apes. Now, actually, there were creatures here that Enlil even mentioned that was as smart as humans, so it could have went the other way. If the Anunnaki didn't back us Homo sapiens that they created, this planet would be run by a different type of creature that was here, and I show that. Why we were created from Neanderthals as opposed to, for example, Homo erectus. You'll find that out. Meteorites in ancient times. That's actually an interesting one because I'm not going to spoil it for you. True bizarre stories. Seriously wrong with almost everything. That's another researcher that is just ridiculous. Lemuria, is it real? Dinosaurs live with humans. President Reagan, his staff telling him about aliens. That's an audio version of the transcript. Psalm 101, Majestic 12, Alien Bible, evidence. With evidence, this might change history. It should do. Really, it should be taught in schools. It literally shows you that Genesis is talking about what the Anunnaki talk about with evidence. Heaven and Hell, part 1 solved. So this one is actually about heaven. Part 2 is about hell, and it is solved with evidence. True bizarre stories again. Firmament solved, 100% guaranteed. Why trust my Anunnaki family tree? So I have done a family tree where I show who is related to who. It's the best ever. I know I sound so big-headed, but it really is the best ever because I actually go through other people's videos, other people's family trees, and show where they're completely wrong. And mine's massive. Who Yahweh really was? Yes, you will find out he was one of the Anunnaki, and no, he wasn't Enlil. Garden of Eden, Adam and Eve, part 1. There's 3 parts to this. First one is about where the Garden of Eden is. Second one is where Adam and Eve were on the spaceship. Yes, I'm not spoiling it for you, or am I? And the third one is about Lilith. So, but only part 1's being put up. So on the end of this month, feel free to you don't have to pay. You just need to be a member to watch these on my Patreon page. You don't have to pay, you don't have to enter credit card details, and you get all of these on the free section. There's already loads of videos there. There's already an hour-long documentary on the Great Flood and so on. So they're already there. But at the end of the month, you get to see. So there's no excuses now that you can't say that you don't know stuff. And of course, there's over 200 videos on my Patreon page alone. So there's plenty more you can watch if you're interested. Thanks. Name one thing the devil has done bad. Please don't say that, food poisoning, or you left your keys somewhere and you couldn't find them. Name one, seriously, on a serious note. Otherwise, just stop. Enough. The alien goddess Inanna, or Ishtar, is going to be revealed who she was as a Greek and Roman god for the first time ever, with evidence as always. But you'll also find out who she was the mother of. I'm not going to spoil it. Whoops, you might have seen there. Now, there's a possibility I'm right with that, and if I am right, then it's going to be another world's first. So you can also see thousands of other documentaries already out from my website. Just type in whatever you want, ourtruehistory.co.uk, and you will see thousands of videos. The list just goes on. Anunnaki, Norse, and these all have evidence. I don't mess around. Egypt. So if you want to learn something, just watch one of these videos and you'll go, okay, fine, I totally understand. They're long documentaries. They're not little TikTok videos. So enjoy. The list just goes on and on. ourtruehistory.co.uk. If you believe this translation, I've got some fresh air I can sell you. So, in the beginning, God created heaven and earth. No. That's if you want to believe the actual translation. However, if you actually break down the original words, which I've done, you can actually have different meanings. And this is what it actually says in Genesis 1 if you don't go by the Almighty Being and you actually read it for what it is. At the beginning of the celestial forces organising the heavenly and planetary bodies, the Earth and other planets were in chaos, without clear paths, blah, blah, blah. Doesn't say anything to do with God. Now, funny enough, the Enuma Elish, which is these tablets in the British Museum, say exactly the same thing. So now we've actually got double checking going on. We've got the ancient tablets and we've got the new revised Bible that I'm rewriting. So, which one do you think it is? One that we can't back up or one that we can now back up? Feel free to share, because this is important. No one ever mentioned Lilith. I did. Funny enough, again, I've solved that as well. Amazing. So people talk about Lilith and they say, oh, this, that and the other. And, of course, I don't believe what people say. I do my own research. Turns out, you can go watch the amazing documentary where I show 100% evidence. Lilith didn't know Adam. You're going to say, no, she's supposed to have rejected Adam and not been able to have kids with him and this, that and the other. No. She didn't know Adam. And I could prove it with evidence. I really do prove it with evidence. So Lilith was actually, with evidence, she was actually Tiamat. And you're going to say, what, the planet? No, the first female that was able-bodied female that was created by the Anunnaki was called Tiamat. And she couldn't bear children with Adamu, who was the first able-bodied human, Homo sapien. So Lilith, that was her. And you're going to say, how the hell did you work that out? I show on my videos how I work it out. I don't just... Go watch my videos, you'll see. So that's the reason why no one talks about Lilith, really, because when you look at what they talk about, they get it all wrong, and they end up getting tongue-tied because they trip over their own research, because obviously it's not correct. Whereas me, go watch that amazing documentary on Lilith. So it's called, if you go to my website, you'll see it's called Garden of Eden Lilith. So I did 3 Garden of Eden videos. One was called Garden of Eden, where I show what Eden was, where it was, etc. The second one, because I was doing the first one, I didn't know. See, when I do these deep dives, and this is why it's deep. Second one, I was only going to do one video on where I believed Eden was. That was
like for this bottom part of the boat, we have.
Is it cruel that we don't tell them that in the British Museum, Irving Finkel's translated a tablet that shows that the boat was made out of Perspective wood and was a coracle shape? It's like a squashed football. It didn't need to go anywhere. All it had to do was survive the deluge. So, they're never going to find a longboat, no matter how much they try. Or they could just look at the British Museum tablet, and that answers it. God works in mysterious ways, bless him. So this is a sinkhole in China that's fairly recently been discovered. But here it says researchers say it could be a home to previously unidentified animal species. Since this article was written, they have found new creatures. Now, isn't that lovely that God decided when he was creating all these different creatures on Earth to actually put some down deep in a cave that no one else would be able to find until one day a sinkhole happens? Isn't that lovely? You know, because obviously it's not going to be evolution, you know, where they're down there without the same materials and minerals, etc., that we have up here. It's not going to be that, because that would be too obvious. It was God, obviously, because God was very interested in finding a nice little cave and thinking, do you know what? Some nice insects and creatures, etc., and bacteria will be great just for that little sinkhole there. That's lovely, isn't it? That you won't find anywhere else on this planet. What a lovely guy God turned out to be. Sodom and Gomorrah. I'm joking. But yeah, Bible basically says that there was a catastrophic event, and some people say that we've now found the evidence of the catastrophic event. Now, the problem there is they then say that the Bible is true, because if there's evidence of that, then there's evidence that whatever's in the Bible is true. Now, you've got to remember that Anunnaki, the alien race that created us, and their race name was gods. All you have to do is go to ourtruehistory.co.uk, click here to prove that they were called gods. If you're going to believe that that is correct, and it's the Bible that's correct as opposed to the older tablets, then you're going to have to go with things like the flood narrative, which is in the British Museum in tablets that predate the Bible by the Anunnaki, where it's literally talking about that they're going to wipe us out with a flood. So which one's right? The Anunnaki. Jesus loved everyone. Listen, this is really important. Jesus loved people regardless of their social standing, economic circumstances, etc. Of course, if you believe that in a book, how about ancient texts that predate the Bible? You might be interested in the conflict between Anu and Alula, who were the Anunnaki on their home planet. For 9 years, Alula was king in heaven, space. In the 9th year, Anu defeated Alula. He ascended to the throne. Alula fled before Anu. He descended to the dark earth, meaning Earth. So there you go, from another planet. So if you believe whatever you want to in the Bible, then you have to really, you can't just pick and choose what you believe, can you? So this ancient tablet is from called the Kingship in Heaven. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Anunnaki came here. Serious question. What would you do if you actually was walking in a field one day and saw a crashed UFO? Would you call the police, the military, your friend, live stream it? What would you do? Hello to all members of my Patreon page. I just thought I'd do a video showing that even if you've not subscribed, you can actually just click on the collections tab and go down to where it says free documentaries. And there you can, once obviously you've already logged in, once you've logged in, I haven't logged in on this, it'll say join for free. But you would have already done that. So if you go to the free section, you'll see, look, I'm just going to scroll down, all these things you can watch for absolutely for nothing. So that's a 3-hour thing there. So yeah, you get the idea. So I just thought I'd show, because Patreon's not great at showing where things are. So if you click the collections tab and just go to free documentaries. Obviously, if you was a paid subscriber, you can go and watch all the other videos that's on here in the collections tab as well. So it helps. Hopefully that helps. Thanks. Bye.
Wow. What an amazing Christmas gift. The amazing 2 factual books are now joined by a 3rd, just released.
Learn the history that you've never been told. From the foremost expert comes the latest book in the series, covering 15 chapters with subjects like Area 51, different types of alien greys, out-of-time objects, US Space Force, Turin Shroud, Grand Canyon with Egyptians, poltergeists, Greek mythological creatures, alien carvings, crystal skulls, and so much more.
Read one book or read all 3. Search Eben's Publishing on Amazon, Kindle, and Audible. Treat yourself or give as a gift for someone that has a thirst for knowledge.
The Watchers, Fallen Angels, solved.
If you are new to my videos, you'll be thinking, Why can this unknown person solve with evidence what no one else has done? That's because I've already solved many mysteries with evidence. I've been doing this for over 40 years and have been called the foremost expert. I'm not on TV, but that doesn't make my research any less impressive. For example, here are just some of the mysteries I've solved, which you can go and watch the documentaries right now from my website, ourtruehistory.co.uk. I have shown who Yahweh really was. I have shown Adam and Eve were on a spaceship for the first 24 years of their life. I have put out the evidence that Jesus' father was not who you think he was. I have shown what Valhalla was. I have shown the mark of the beast already happened. I worked out that the Greek god Kronos was not Zeus' father, and I show who he was as an Anunnaki, and so much more. Now on with this video.
First, we need to see what the words fallen angels and watchers mean. This is what mainstream will tell you. The terms fallen angels and watchers originate from ancient religious and mythological texts, primarily within the context of Jewish, Christian, and Islamic traditions. Here's what they generally mean. Fallen angels refers to angels who are cast out of heaven for rebelling against God or failing to fulfill their divine duties. In Christian theology, the most famous fallen angel is Lucifer, who is often associated with Satan. These angels are depicted as beings who defied divine authority and were punished by being expelled from heaven, becoming associated with evil or corrupt forces in the world. The concept of fallen angels is found in various religious texts. In Christianity, the fall of Lucifer and other angels is depicted in Isaiah 14:12, 15, and Revelation 12. 7, 9. Fallen angels symbolize rebellion, sin, and the consequence of turning away from God. They are often depicted as agents of chaos or temptation. The Watchers. The Watchers are a specific group of angels mentioned in ancient Jewish texts, particularly in the book of Enoch, an ancient Jewish text not included in the canonical Bible. They were sent to watch over humanity, but ended up becoming corrupt. According to the book of Enoch, the Watchers descended to earth, lusted after human women, and fathered a race of giants called the Nephilim. Their actions were seen as a violation of divine law, leading to their punishment. The term Watchers comes primarily from the book of Enoch and other ancient Jewish writings. These angels were tasked with observing humanity, but fell into temptation. The Watchers are associated with a story of divine beings falling from grace by becoming too entangled with the earthly realm. They are often connected to themes of corruption, forbidden knowledge, and the mixing of divine and mortal beings. Some people think they are same, and I'll explain later if they are the same, but here's mainstream view. Fallen angels and watchers are related concepts, but they are not exactly the same. Here's a breakdown of their relationship and key differences. Fallen angels are a broad category that includes any angel who was cast out of heaven for rebelling against or disobeying God. The most well-known example is Lucifer, who is often equated with Satan after his fall. Origin: the idea of fallen angels is found in various religious traditions, especially in Christianity, where it refers to angels who followed Lucifer in rebellion. The Watchers are a particular group of angels mentioned in the book of Enoch and other ancient Jewish writings. They were tasked with watching over humanity, but ended up disobeying their divine duties. The Watchers' fall happened because they lusted after human women and fathered the Nephilim, a race of giants. Their transgression led to their punishment by God. The Watchers have a specific narrative and role in ancient Jewish texts, primarily the book of Enoch. While the term fallen angels can apply to many angels, the Watchers refer to a distinct group with a particular story of disobedience. The Watchers, after their transgression, are considered fallen angels because they were punished and cast out of their divine role. However, the broader concept of fallen angels includes many other angels, such as Lucifer, and those who followed him, who rebelled against God for different reasons. The Watchers' fall was tied specifically to their lust for human women and the resulting Nephilim, while other fallen angels, like Lucifer, fell due to pride, rebellion, or other reasons. Now we can look at what my research shows. Remember, if you've seen my other videos, you know the Bible has been changed many times. Let's first look at the fallen angels.
But if we look at the word Lucifer, it was added to the NIV Bible in 1978. The reason is because the correct wording from Young's literal translation is, "How hast thou fallen from the heavens, O shining one, son of the dawn? Thou hast been cut down to earth, O weakener of nations. As you can see, it doesn't say Lucifer. Shining One, son of the dawn, is a literal rendering of the Hebrew term Helel ben Shachar. In many English translations, this has been rendered as Lucifer, a name derived from the Latin word for light bringer or morning star. However, YLT avoids using the Latin term and sticks to a more direct translation of the Hebrew words. The Hebrew Bible was written before Latin became a widely spoken language, which means to use the word Lucifer from Latin would be wrong because it's a name made up way later. If you watch my documentaries on Satan and Lucifer, you'll see the original names were adversary, meaning the people that wrote the Bible didn't name them. It's like me saying there's a criminal, and they way later you making up a name for him. Remember the words Son of Dawn was in the Young's literal Bible? While Son of the Dawn is unique to Isaiah 14:12, the imagery of the morning star or shining one can appear in a few other places in the Bible, though not in the exact form as found in Isaiah 14:12. Revelation 22:16, YLT, refers to Jesus as the bright morning star. I am the root and the offspring of David, the bright and morning star. 2 Peter 1:19, YLT, also uses the term morning star, until day may dawn and a morning star may arise in your hearts. Did you see that? Until day may dawn and a morning star may arise in your hearts. That's not even talking about a person. So we have go with adversary. Remember, this is what the fallen angels represent. Fallen angels symbolize rebellion, sin, and the consequence of turning away from God. They are often depicted as agents of chaos or temptation. The question is, are there any mentions of the word fallen angel in ancient texts? No, I can't find any, and that's because it was a term used way later after the actual events of the fallen angels. Just like we have the words Lucifer and Satan and Holy Trinity, these were all added later. What would be the connection, if any, to the Anunnaki and the fallen angels?
Was there a group of Anunnaki that turned their back on the main god, Enlil? Remember, I've proved with evidence that the Anunnaki were the gods in the Bible, and that Enlil was called the Most High, same as the Bible. In Mesopotamian art and literature, gods were sometimes described as possessing aura or brightness, just as it mentions in the Bible. Mesopotamia was where the Anunnaki gods settled when they arrived here from their planet. There are 3 main stories from before the Bible about a group of people that were against Enlil at that time. The first group, called the Igigi, these were the sons of the Anunnaki. Anunnaki were the older gods. Remember, their race name is gods. So the Igigi were the younger ones.
To watch the rest of this documentary, where it clearly shows with evidence who the fallen angels were, visit ourtruehistory.co.uk. There you will find over 1,000 other long documentaries from a wide range of subjects: Bigfoot, crystal skulls, modern aliens, and so much more. Thanks for watching.
So there's this gentleman here who is a religious person and has a channel called World of Antiquity. I've already done many videos where I've totally debunked him, and of course he can't come back with anything because I'm right. So here he's going through things that alternate ancient history people can't explain. So I'm just going to press play.
Indigenous Americans were formed from a single founding population that came from Siberia in East Asia. Then, when North Americans and South Americans split, the ones traveling south...
So he goes on basically for 24 minutes and various things that ancient alien researchers claim. Unfortunately, as you guys know, those other ancient alien researchers are not very good. I am the foremost expert. So I'll be going through his video and basically pointing out where the other ancient aliens researchers are wrong, and so is he. How many ancient cultures named more planets than they could see back then? So I was just asking ChatGPT, interested to see the answer, and it basically said that really none. However, obviously Babylonians and Sumerians did, but they're saying that it's Zecharia Sitchin that made up that they knew more. Greeks, they said they only knew the same visible planets. However, then I did say to it, hang on a minute, you said Greeks, and they actually named all the planets after the gods, and then they went, yes, you're absolutely correct. So don't forget, guys, that they could see, all these people could see planets that we can't see without a telescope. So somehow they knew about extra planets. So just don't trust me instead of ChatGPT or any AI.